Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic veteran here with Yanzi, and today is the day we are once again talking about the decimated DC Comics, the decimated comic book industry as DC Comics goes further down the rabbit hole of pure degeneracy in their books. Now, this is the actual, not creators, but the actual content of the book. But before we get into it, please click down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications as we do hold hands as the comic industry burns. All right, so what we got here is I don't know.
I don't know how to describe this. So everybody, it's our favorite creator, T. Franklin, writer of that Harley Quinn Eat, Bang, Kill tour, and bring her special brand of writing to more of her books, I guess. So here is something from the latest issue that she worked on, where there's a triple kiss. She's very proud of it. Has there ever been a triple kiss in a DC comic before? Meow, indeed. Hashtag Catwoman. A Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Bella Garten sandwich sounds delish. And of course, you guys can. We have to describe it really. The drawing, the pictures right there is a triple kiss. Lesbianism, hooray, yay!
Yeah, this is for everybody, and I know you might be scratching your head or rubbing your eyes, but or you're in just disbelief and you think this is some fan fiction we pulled off the internet. This is an actual printed DC comic, and not the only panel from it too that is sort of spicy. For context here, like when T. Franklin wrote a Vixen story, there was a little bit of a self-insert, but also Vixen was channeling the ability of a giraffe for its long velvety tongue or sexual benefits. So part of the issue, and we did a video about that, but part of the issue, and a lot of people were outraged by that, but what really was the outrage was, what were you going to do after this? Usually when you're working in some sort of story format or long-term or long-form narrative, you oftentimes have to, whatever you start off with, you got to escalate. Now, whether that's action, whether that's drama, whether that's suspense, or just debauchery of using your super abilities for sex, you're going to have to up that. You can't just play that big card right there at the beginning. So I always wondered how this was going to play out, and we're actually kind of seeing it here. There's worse panels, in my opinion, in this book. I don't know if you have them pulled up, but
right, so here's one of the other panels, pretty much a different angle, same kiss, different angle, but it's nice to know that we now celebrate orgies in comic books, I guess.
Now, this panel has been cropped. The full panel actually has Harley Quinn's hand between Poison Ivy's spread legs. Now, she's not touching her, but her arm is going between the legs. Now, what's interesting here is, as you can see, there's a credits there to the left. There is an editor involved. There is an assistant editor involved. There is a publisher involved. And there's a lot of people when you work at DC Comics that have to actually sign off on a book that normally you won't even see their name in the book, but there has to be a signature on a piece of paper that approves the book going to print in case there's anything that has to be pulped or anything that's controversial. There is a paper trail. There is some sort of responsibility that goes there. And I mean, there's a couple of different angles about this video, and to be honest, it bedazzles me. I don't really know what to say about this, because I'm a comic book fan first, a comic book creator second. Been doing it over 20 some years, and to especially when it comes to these characters that are DC or Marvel characters, there is a type of a respect, a prestige with these companies. The companies have really went out of their way to not showcase their characters in any type of controversial lighting for the most part, and if they do, they try to pull it back.
Ooh, Batwing.
Batwing is a great example. They pulped that right away and then covered it up. This is only hitting the gas. I feel like the only reason this is hitting the gas and moving forward is because this is part of the community, that this is a LGBTQIA plus type of thing. So then any type of debauchery that happens in it is gets endorsed. It's actually considered provocative. Now, the writer on this is T. Franklin, who has, as you would imagine, a lot of diversity boxes, and that's fine. I really don't care to get into that. But I wonder if a cis white male, if Dan Slott wrote this, would he be able to do it? And not that I care
Oh.
to read Dan Slott doing this, but we're actually also seeing like a double standard being exercised. This is something that any white male, especially straight or gay, it doesn't matter, could not do this.
Yeah, they call this exploitation. They'll say, you know, how dare you objectify and sexualize women? But meanwhile, when T. Franklin does it, it's like, oh, so stunning and brave.
Some people are calling this out. Some people are saying like, well, I've done this before and DC Comics had an issue with it.
Mhm. But before we get into that, though, so earlier we're talking about how there was some self inserts happening in the book at the beginning, and T. Franklin's like, no, no, no. See, I am that good. I had myself self inserted as some chick watching the Runway show. I wasn't the girl that Vixen is having relationships with. But she does have a tendency to want to basically do self inserts for not just herself, for her friends, apparently. So her friend here, Cora, says, what a gift to have this on my timeline. Oh, I forgot to tell you, issue 3, you have a character named after you in an IB flashback. And she even shows her the panel with her friend Cora's in this panel, I guess. So it's like, that's nice. So we do endorse self-inserts in books now, you know, blatant ones even.
Well, believe it or not, this is actually a legal issue for DC Comics. As I've worked there, and there have been people that have to they either win a contest or something, and I've had to draw people in from retail summits and stuff like that. The part of the issue is this person has to actually sign off on this book, and obviously, if the person didn't know it, they didn't. This is actually a legal situation for DC Comics happening in real time, that the editors aren't there. They don't realize T. Franklin's writing people into the book and then telling these people online that they're in the book. This person, their likeness, they never gave permission for them to be in a DC comic. This is a legal problem. This person actually has to sign off to be drawn into the actual comic book. I'm not making this up. This type of asleep at the wheel editor that's happening at DC Comics, I get it. They got a million books and very few staffers, and they're working on the skeleton crew after multiple bloodbaths. But somebody snap out of it, wake up. You're at the wheel, you know, you're heading into a truck. Wake up, please, DC Comics.
T. Franklin, who drinks balls and wallets as she proudly proclaims, now is arguing back with other fans. Lancia says, I had a friend whose older sister would draw stuff like this for money. She got a cease and desist from DC. But now I guess it's mainstream. So let me recall an anecdote. I was at, I think, New York Comic Con. I met this artist in Artist Alley. He actually had a Superman, Batman gay love story. Like, okay, well, he scraped the symbols off their chest, but it was pretty obvious who they were. I was like asking him, oh, you managed to get this past DC? He was like, no, actually, they came and told me to get off my website. But they offered me a job. And I was like, interesting. So DC is actually going after people who draw the stuff and put it on their websites, but offering them some weird incentive after that. But anyway, so what does T have to say to that, though? Because it seems like this is happening when DC doesn't like you, the way you depict their characters, and you're making money from it, they'll tell you to stop it. T says, I was paid to do a job, and I did it. If you have complaints, take it up with DC, not me. Thank you.
And rightfully so. I'm going to agree with T. Franklin on this 110%. The problem with this isn't T. Franklin. The problem with this isn't the actual, I mean, it is problematic, but isn't really the content in the book. The real problem here is that somebody at DC Comics actually signed off on it, that they printed it. Somebody's going to argue one way or another that this is an Elseworld, that this doesn't actually really exist, or they'll write it out of continuity. But once DC Comics actually prints this trash with their characters doing it, it becomes canon. It doesn't really matter. It's on the internet. More people on the internet will see this panel than ever saw a physical copy of this book. You have to understand that. The risk versus reward of doing these type of antics inside a comic book is, to me, mind-blowing that DC Comics would roll dice with their intellectual properties like this, especially when they can become viral. And we've seen this with the Batwing. We've seen this with a couple other things. Even this is on the internet. I promise you, more people will see this panel on Twitter than the actual comic book. Now, some people would say that's exactly the point, Shane. That's why DC Comics even allows this to begin with. But after catching that this person's drawing friends in and nobody at DC Comics realizes it, and she's calling it out on Twitter, I feel like the staff at DC Comics either don't care or they're not staffed well enough to care. But the reality is you're looking at a comic book company on autopilot. I feel like stuff like this is seeping through mainly because of that. DC Comics is absolutely 110% responsible for this, and they always will be. Not T. Franklin. T. Franklin, I'll use me as an example. You could hire me as a creator, and I'm like, I want to kill Superman. If DC Comics lets me do it, that's DC Comics' fault, not me. In the end, you have to understand DC Comics is the shepherds of their IP and their characters. It's up to them to allow or pull back these books for print, or even hit the print button to begin with. It all rests in the power of DC Comics. T. Franklin only has the power DC Comics allows her, and even once they allow her to do it, it's up to DC Comics to make the book actually physically exist, or even release the PDF of the book. So in the end, this is absolutely 110% DC Comics' fault. I want to bring that up. I really want to shine a light on that DC Comics is the culprit in this. Anyways, if you guys will, please look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, leave us a comment. What do you think about this? I guess. I don't know. Anyways, Inglorious Rex is less than $500 away from $220,000. This is our third crowdfunder to delivered the sequel to smash hit monster beat 'em up epic adventure, Inglorious Rex Volume 2. You can buy Volume 1 in this campaign. Also, I'll leave you guys with a trailer for this smash hit campaign, no pun intended. We'll catch you guys again with another video.
Guess who stepped on the scene? I got greatness all in my jeans. Ain't no way that I can slow down. I'm laced up, look how I shake the ground. Can't touch the crown, but you can kiss the ring. Close your eyes and see how I live a dream. I'm too smooth, MJ with the lean. Don't be fooled, I came through with the team. This is over their heads, how high can it go? I'm too over the edge, got my eyes on the goal. And we right back at it, keep them right on their toes. Look at the way that I move, this is all that I know. Cause I got the drive, I put it in gear. Line them up, I don't see no competitive team. If it ain't first place, we really can't settle for it. Listen up, listen up.